Hi everyone, I'm Kim Wilkinson of Empowered Life. And this year I've started to do short little videos with some friends and fellow entrepreneurs that are passionate about a lot of the same things I am: health, wellness, healing, and growth. We all know that right now, especially, we need as much support and resources for our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. And although I've got some great stuff. I know Tracy, who is with me today, Tracy Montgomery, has a lot of great stuff that I don't offer that I want to share or have her share with you so that you can have access to as many resources as possible right now. So welcome, Tracy. Thank you so much for joining me. And I'm just going to turn it over to you to tell us a little bit more about you and what you do.
Okay, well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. I feel super blessed and honored to be here, so I am super grateful for that. Hi, everyone. My name is Tracy Montgomery, and I am a spiritual alignment coach. So that means quite a few different things. So how I kind of started along this path and how Kim and I met is I actually used to be an elementary teacher, and I did that for about 15 years. And in about the last 5 years of my career, I got into yoga and became a yoga teacher. And as I started teaching more yoga, I quickly realized that I was working in a job that just wasn't fulfilling me anymore. I loved to teach, but the context of what I was teaching needed to change. I did try a little bit to kind of stay within the school system after I took my meditation teacher training with Kim, which is how we met. And I became a mindfulness teacher and coach within my school for a few years, which was phenomenal. Unfortunately, though, it was a project that couldn't continue to be funded. So that brought me back into the regular classroom. And then I was exploring other avenues of what I could do. So then I worked on my Reiki, got my Reiki master, and I also went back to school and got massage therapy and slowly left the school division and moved into more of this alternative healing full time. And what I noticed as I was doing a lot of massages and a lot of energy work with people is that we kind of have a tendency sometimes to compartmentalize our healing, meaning that we only work with the physical body, or we meditate and then we only think it's the mental. And we don't realize necessarily that we need to do the physical, the mental, the emotional, the energetic, and the spiritual work. So it needs to be very holistic. And so I started to grab modalities that would allow me to create my company, Root to Rise Integrative Healing, that provides modalities in all of those areas. So from there, then I moved into becoming a spiritual response therapist. I also have subconscious imprinting technique. And I also got a coaching certification specializing in the universal laws and the law of attraction. And so what I do now is I take all of those modalities and I put them together and I coach my clients and I do sessions to help them to remove limitations and blocks and things that might be standing in their way, while at the same time moving more into direction of living a life that they love.
I love it. And and I love that it's funny how life happens and you get on this path when you really
Mhm.
start to kind of tap into just consciousness and understanding this self a little more, and you open up that first door. There's so many other doors, and I think it's clear you've been, like me, a course junkie, and it's
Yep, totally.
perfectly.
I love to learn. Like I could just go back to school if I could afford it for the rest of my life and just do that and I'd be perfectly happy.
Yeah, I love it. And it's whether you from an entrepreneur perspective or anybody, even
Mhm.
if you're not your own entrepreneur, that approach is so important, right? To always be learning or growing. I think our human nature is we always want something different, better, or more. But if we
Mhm.
don't do anything different, we're never going to have a different outcome, right? So the more we can explore different paths and avenues, the more we open ourselves up um, to so many opportunities and abundance in all areas of life. So I love what you're doing. It's been a while since Tracy and I had an opportunity to catch up, so I wasn't sure exactly all of the things that she's been doing. So that sounds absolutely wonderful. And I think you also have some speaking opportunities coming up. So we're going to, when with the post of this video, we're going to have the links for Tracy's website, any events and programs that she's got running so that you can check it out. Honestly, the more you can invest in your health and wellness, the more you're going to heal and grow and change and open yourself up to receive. I know. And I think, Tracy, you probably do a lot of belief work too with clients, I'm guessing.
Yes. So the subconscious imprinting is all about repatterning through the subconscious mind, right? So it's things that we pick up from our parents, that we pick up from society, those kind of big, deeply rooted things that kind of hold us back from moving forward or busting through that old belief system. And the SRT, or the spiritual response therapy, actually works with the Akashic records. So then we move into past lives. And so we work into the programming and the contracts that we have in place there. So when you put the two together, which I do combo sessions as well, when you put the two together, it's very powerful because you're getting past, present, parallel, and even sometimes future lives, looking at patterning, belief repatterning and reprogramming, which is very powerful. And what I find too, Kim, like I'm sure you find the same, is that the reason that I was really passionate about having something that was integrative was that different things work for different people, right? I can have one client that comes and they can, release all of their repressed emotions through the physical manipulation, through massage and through Reiki. And then I can have another client who responds best to the subconscious imprinting or to the SRT, right? So being able to have all of those different modalities allows clients to have a very individualized and personal experience that's going to help them the most.
Totally. And I know I have found, even from my own experience, um, there are so many great books out there, self-help, motivation, and a lot of the authors are delivering the same message, right? But just even reading something a different way, it's like a totally different awareness,
Yeah.
or, depending on where you're at, mentally, emotionally. I know I've been there. It was in our teacher training, actually, reading The Untethered Soul. The first time I read that book, I hated it. I hated
Me too. I think I've read it like 6 times and now I'm like, this is a great book.
Yeah, the second time I read it, I'm like, this is the greatest book ever, right? But it's just sometimes, and what I've really realized, especially diving more into emotional health and understanding behaviors, is how conditioned we've become, and how those, not only how those beliefs are created, but how they totally block us from even seeing differently or different perspectives. And in recognizing limiting beliefs and be able to change them, right? We only know what we know. And that's why, again, it's so important to explore different options and avenues, whether it's, reading a book or taking a workshop or working with, some sort of coach. I remember one of my many teachers, I remember having a discussion one time thinking, okay, I do all of these really great things, but, and one teacher said, maybe just pick one thing and be really good at it. And I thought, okay, that kind of makes sense. But then I was like, oh my gosh, how do I just pick one of
Yeah.
these amazing things? And then I had another teacher who said, a carpenter doesn't just have a hammer. A carpenter has a hammer and a saw and a screwdriver and a tape measure and a level and all of these things. And I thought, yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly right. And just like you said, different things work for different people or at different times. And the more we can have, the more we're going to experience, that healing or that transformation or whatever it is. So
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
love that.
Yeah, my husband would used to say the same thing to me too. He'd be like, "Can't you just do one thing?" And I'd be like, "Well, no, because that's just one piece of this big, grandiose puzzle, right?" It's like I have a lot of clients that come that have a little bit of knowledge of the law of attraction, and they'll come and be like, "Well, I read this book on the law of attraction, or follow Abraham Hicks or whatever, and they say to just say these positive affirmations and to shift your thinking." And they're like, "But it didn't work for me." And I'm like, well, yeah, because even though we can try to shift our mindset to, that the universe is abundant or that money flows to me easily, whatever it is, if we have that limiting belief that, there's never enough, that there's lack, that people like me don't make money, then we can never actually move past that point in our lives, right? So it's like they have to go hand in hand. Yes, we can draw a new belief in, but we also have to do something with the old, because ignoring it, the ignorance is bliss, kind of scenario
Yeah,
doesn't help us, doesn't serve us.
totally. Yep.
Yeah.
And perspective, right? I know we can look at 2020, the year of COVID, and say, what a crap year.
Yep.
And when I think of 2020, it was a fantastic year for me.
Mm-hmm.
And 2021, we're going into, COVID is still very present. And my year is just, kind of blowing my mind. I've knocked 4 big things off my vision board already, but it's because of doing all the work, right? And consistency is key.
Yeah.
So, and I think you find that too, because I'm sure you've been on that roller coaster like me, where we do the work for a bit and everything's good. And then you kind of, okay, it's all good. And you kind of fall back into those old ways, old thought patterns.
Yeah.
And then, you know, all that chaos starts to surface again. And it's like, what the heck? And
Hmm.
it's like, you got to do the work every single day, right? So,
Yep, absolutely. And I even this week I had that come up, that chaos where I was like, oh, didn't I? I thought I did this already. I thought I dealt with this already. But no, it's rearing its ugly head again, right? And that's exactly what it's about, is that it is, it's a process. It's not just a one-time, band-aid type fix, right?
yeah, because
Yeah.
everything's changing all the time and we need to change with it. So,
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
love it. I love the work you're doing. Thank you so much for taking some time to share a bit more about yourself and what you do. And it's so great to connect with you again. So we're going to post the links to reach Tracy. For any of you who are interested, I highly suggest, if nothing else, follow her page, stick with her. She's got a lot of great stuff. So thanks again, Tracy. And thanks everyone for watching. Have a great day.
Thank you, Kim.
You're welcome. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.